Young Palestinians from the refugee camps took to the streets against Israeli occupation in what became known as the Intifada. Hamas's founders seized the opportunity and launched themselves as an armed resistance movement.
When the Intifada began, I was working in the Gaza Strip. I was in charge of activating agents and informers. Hamas took control of the streets, and from that moment on, it became our greatest enemy.
At the time when the Intifada started in Palestine, Abdel Fattah Khan was the head of the Muslim Brotherhood in Gaza. And therefore he presided over the meeting that founded Hamas.
Hamas rose for the protection of Palestinians from occupation, not to attack the Jews. At dawn on Wednesday, roads were blocked and the youth got the stones ready to throw.
Within hours, Hamas was created and on the streets.
Hamas was the first movement who understood that this is the opportunity that they are looking for, and they immediately moved from being a traditional Muslim Brotherhood movement into a fighting force against the State of Israel.
The founders of Hamas were Palestinian leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood, an Islamist political organization originating in Egypt, with branches throughout the Muslim world.
What was distinct about the Muslim Brotherhood is that it believed that progress can only be achieved through Islam, that Islam is not just about spirituality or about rituals. It was about how we live, how we think. It was about politics, how we govern, how we deal with the others.
Today, Hamas remains faithful to these Islamist roots. So despite being prime minister, Ismail Haniyeh carries on with his duties as an imam to the people, taking requests to help solve their problems. Haniyeh sees no contradiction in combining religion with politics.
Being Prime Minister does not mean that I should neglect my religious duties as an imam. I think I am blessed by Allah because He allows me to combine my religious and political duties. This dual role has been absent for a while from the political stage of the Muslim world.
Hamas wants the whole of Palestine to be an Islamic state, but they maintain they'll not impose it unless the people demand it. On the ground, though, Islamist influences are being introduced into Gazan society, in particular the recently reformed justice system. Here in Saria jail, convicts are offered a deal if they embrace Islam.
They teach us about the Prophet and how we have sinned. They give us a chance to repent. Now, if you memorize one of the 30 chapters of the Quran, they reduce your sentence by 2 months. It makes you a better Muslim. They have been very helpful. I am grateful to them. But first and foremost, I'm thankful to God. If you learn 5 chapters, they reduce it by 1 year. They are telling you that you have a chance if you go back to Allah, because He will accept you. I have a year still to serve, but I have memorized 5 chapters. So I'll be released today or tomorrow. like they promised.
On his release, prisoner Mora receives a complimentary copy of the Quran. Opposition to the creeping Islamization of Gaza under Hamas is never far away. Friday prayers have become a flashpoint between Hamas and its rivals. Worshippers have spilled onto the pavement and are praying outside in protest at Hamas's alleged use of the mosque to attack its opponents. Hamas police officers are deployed and ready. It's a scene being played out at several of the main mosques across the whole of Gaza.
Does he feel that he will have to use this stick today like last Friday or not?
لا لا مش هستخدم عصاية لأنه مش اعتقادي يعني 90% إنهم أجبن من هيك مش هيطلعوا لأنهم إن طلعوا هذبحهم القتل.
سيء. إيه؟ وعدم تصلي ايش يعني فيه؟ يعني الجيش كله استنفر عشان الناس تجي تصلي في العراق؟ خليهم يصلوا ليش بصير يعني مش لا جايين يبيعوا مخدرات ولا جايين يعملوا شيء، جايين الناس تصلي بس مش اكثر. خليهم يصلوا.
Hamas police move in on the protesting worshippers.
والله بكسر كل الأوامر وبطفيكوا كتل. يلا والله تشوفوا عم تصلي.
That Hamas police are attacking worshippers at Friday prayers is especially shocking. An old man is beaten to the ground. Hamas's police appear out of control.
إنه يسمح الصلاة في العراء ليس كما قالوا هم وأفتوا لا تجوز الصلاة في العراء.
After speaking to the camera, Ramzi Nasser is arrested. A few hours later, he is freed from police custody after a beating.
In my family, a lot of us gave their lives for Hamas. We have 11 martyrs. Some are on Israel's hit list. Some are in prison. All the family tried to convince me to join Hamas, but I said, no way. I can see what they are like. So, I decided to join Fatah.
That Ramzi, from a family that includes 11 Hamas martyrs, chose Fatah is symbolic of a growing disaffection with the direction Hamas is taking Gaza. For some in the Hamas government, the show of force witnessed is a massive blow.
The use of violence, the heavy beating, was rejected by the government and parliament, even by the leadership of the executive force. But some individuals in the police overreacted in their attempts to control the demonstration, fearing it could get out of control. I saw what happened on television and I condemn it. I protested to Parliament and I went and told Prime Minister Haniyeh. I said it was a mistake and should never be repeated.
In the aftermath of the mosque incident, Hamas took action by sacking the police officers deemed responsible.
I don't believe Hamas political leadership would wanted to have a crackdown on those demonstrators. I think those executive forces leaders managed to overtake the political leadership, and now they have the upper hand. They are very radical people, and they never listen to the leadership.
And the charge that Hamas politicians are powerless to control their military arises again 2 months later as a huge crowd gathers on a Palestinian Memorial Day. Hamas police draw guns and 8 Fatah supporters are killed, defining one of the lowest points in Hamas's 20-year existence. In the eyes of many Palestinians, it raises a fundamental question. Are Hamas fit or capable of governing the people whose very interests they shed blood to defend?